Hi, good morning. I'm Brian from PadStats. PadStats, we believe in giving exact answers. So let's start with our problem. So let's say I own a single family rental property and I don't know how much I should list it for rent. So what do? The first thing I probably do is I go to Zillow and I check out what their rent estimate is. Maybe I trust this, maybe I don't. Next, I go to House Canary. I get a different number, $2,500 versus $2,250. I pay $30 for my House Canary report, but I'm still unsure. It seems like a big difference between the two. So I go to Renometer, the other player in the market, and I pay $30 for their report. So I know I paid $60 for these two reports, and Renometer gives me this wide range of $900, which is a huge range for me. I try RealPage, the next player in the market. They tell me no. They tell me I need 50 properties before they'll even talk to me. And so I sit there and I go, okay, well, these are the three experts. I've paid $60 so far. I guess I'll just kind of average them out and go from there. So I average them out, and let's say I list it for 2250. Well, what happens? So I list it for 2250. I don't get really any callbacks or anybody applying. So I wait about a month. I'm starting to get a little frustrated. So I go, okay, well, maybe I should drop the rent about $50. So I drop it from 2250 to 2195. A couple weeks goes by. I really don't get any applicants still. So I guess we should drop it again. So I drop it another $50 to 2150. And another 2 weeks go by, and I'm still not getting any applicants. I'm getting really super frustrated because at this point it's been almost a month and a half. I have pretty much no applicants. And I finally drop it again to about $2,000. And that's when I finally start to get applicants. And I finally find a good renter that will pay me $1,900. And for my mistake of listing it at $2,250 instead of $1,900, I lost about $4,000 on this one single property that I own. And let's say I own multiple properties, so it's $4,000 that I could have had despite paying $60 for my two reports. $4,000 in my pocket that I've lost in this process. So how often does this happen though? I mean, like, is this just a one-off scenario that you're telling me, or is this something that happens all the time? Well, actually, 66% of all properties must reduce their rental properties must reduce their listing price, meaning they are mispriced from the very beginning. And this actually creates vacancies all around the country. So 8% of all properties are vacant at any time. And 4% of that, so 50% of all vacancies are due to the wrong price being listed the first time on rentals. And on average, this is about $1,000 per unit that every owner in America is losing based on the vacancy number. And times 40 million properties, this is a $40 billion problem that, if we can knock this 4% annual vacancy due to mispricing down to 1% or less, that's a huge, huge benefit to both property managers getting that money back in their pocket, and also to the housing crisis in general across the United States, because there'll be more available housing because they won't be listed for things that are much above where they should be and more accurately listed. So this is a huge problem that's happening countrywide. And the first question that came to my head as we kind of explored this is, why are the experts so wrong in all of this? They do their normal standard logical approach, which is take the property, draw a circle around it, and try to grab as many comps as possible, and have similar beds and baths and similar square footages. But what are they missing? What is the big thing that is causing 66% of all listings needing to be dropped? And when we dove deeper into it, I mean, there's quite a few things that they are kind of assuming don't matter. But when you really break it down, they actually are very, very important. So first of all is property condition. they're not really using images or any other analysis to decide how new or old the property condition is. They're not considering amenities when they're deciding their rental estimate. They're not really using location at all. There could be huge differences in income, jobs, diversity, crime, transit, all these different features that specific locations can have. We've noticed properties that just across the freeway, it's a totally different part of town, and comping them the same is not accurate and not useful to the user. And the last piece is they're actually kind of using their own comps as comps. They're using other listings. So if most of their model is built on other outputs of their model, which is other listings, they're not actually getting real actual rental data. They're just using other listing data, and that doesn't actually give me the real price that I will probably rent it for in real life to a real person. So one other way to think about this problem too is, what if I owned a duplex? How much is it actually worth? How much can I actually sell this thing for? There is not a leading market leader for evaluating multifamily duplexes, apartment complexes. There isn't a good market leader out there that is doing that. Zillow doesn't do that. HousecAnary doesn't do that. Rendometer doesn't do that. RealPage does not do that. We have to go get a specific appraiser. I have to pay $500 to have an appraiser come out and do that. And then for this specific property, when we did that, the first appraiser came back $310,000, and we could feel that was wrong based on our own analysis of the comps, right? Everyone is always looking around, and we thought this was very low, so we paid another $500 and got a second appraiser, and that appraiser came back at $390,000, which is eventually around what we sold it for. But my point is, that is a huge range of difference, and this stems from the fact that if we can't correctly estimate rent, we can't correctly appraise properties. And so there's a huge disconnect and huge problem across the country with appraising properties as a result of rental estimates being so far off. And when you break it down between all the different companies and people that are trying to do this, they're always taking into account only some of the problem. There's a lot of places that will do estimates and will do evaluations, will do estimates and rent estimates, but they don't really take into account location very well. There's other places that take location very well, but they don't really analyze properties very well. And that's where we think PadStats has a unique opportunity to take all of these different variables and create a machine learning algorithm that would actually attack them individually and specifically. So once again, our current process across the world is to take a property, draw a circle around it, and try to grab as many properties that are similar, square footage, bed and bath, and assume that they're all the same. Assume that they're all equal comps. But at PadStats, we think there's a more detailed approach to this problem, which is in that circle, maybe the property's in actually the best part of town. It has the lowest crime. It has the best transit commute scores. It has the highest income. It has the highest diversity, most amount of jobs. And maybe the comps that you're looking at are in the lower part of town or the worst part of town for comparables. And actually using them as comps is incorrectly valuating your property lower. Or the opposite is true, where it's far too high, and then we fall into the mispricing problem. So we think that there's a better way to do this, and we can build a machine learning algorithm that will take into these factors into account and specifically give a more detailed answer. How will we do this? So we'll take MLS data, we'll take AppFolio data, take all the different data from current property managers. We will create a vector embedding machine learning algorithm that will both take into account condition scoring using an image condition scoring system using a machine learning algorithm, and also take into account the amenities, the location, all the different statistics that we need, and create vector embeddings. And what this does is effectively take a property and convert it into a series of thousands of numbers. And then using that, we can still draw that same circle, but we can pick out comps more specifically and accurately than anyone else does on the market right now, using this vector embedding machine learning algorithm. And we can actually notice times when properties are scored too high because they're actually in a worse part of town, or they're scored too low because your property's in the better or worse part of town. There's a lot of specifics to it that a machine learning algorithm can pick apart that the average human can't, and also most and all the products on the market don't take into account right now. So we really believe this is the time where a machine learning algorithm can have the compute power to be doing these things in real time with the user and give a very specific answer. We're going to start with a free basic model for people that just want to check different pieces of location and give a really basic analysis. We anticipate doing $20 per month subscription service for full geolocation analysis and full rental estimate tools with one detailed report per month, and users can buy additional reports for $20 a month. And then we're building also an enterprise package for businesses that have a ton of units, and we'll price them more accordingly, have API calls and data downloads, and have more customer service for them. So who are we? So Sean and I have been working together for a few months now. Sean is a property manager and data scientist for the last 5 years. He has a master's in real estate finance. He owns several rental properties, and he's the one that kind of discovered this problem himself and we're going to go attack it and fix it. I'm an 11-year engineer, different process improvement experience, different managerial experience, and we're both technical, and we both are going to be building this ourselves and leading the team. So traction. So we met in May, and since then we've built a prototype of our machine learning condition scoring model. We are launching our location analysis and statistics map at the block group level. It's more granular and more interpretable than any other location-based product on the market right now. We've launched version 2. We met with customers. We're in the middle of launching version 2. We launched version 1. We met with customers, and we're in the middle of launching version 2. Implementing feedback, including crime, weather, and some other statistics. We've met with AppFolio to start our partner program, and we're currently building our rental estimate model that we target to be done in the next few months. So far, we are self-funded and bootstrapped. We are looking to raise $1.2 million, 8% equity, to $50 million post-money valuation using a SAFE. We think this will streamline a lot of our processes. We think we need to hire to grow and scale to be faster. We want to put the most money into product development. We will probably eventually need to add some money to marketing and sales and operations. In year 1, we anticipate having a gross revenue of $75,000 with $500,000 of expenses. We do want to continue to head towards profitability as soon as possible. So we believe around year 3, somewhere between year 3 and 4, we will be profitable. So it's our timeline right now. We anticipate launching our rental estimate MVP in February, having 100 paid users by June, and hiring our team and utilizing our seed money in the process, but mainly in September. We want to anticipate having an AppFolio partnership next January 2025, 250 monthly paid users in May, and launch our API service the following September. So we plan on giving precision rental insights through the power of machine learning, having the ability to quickly fill vacancies, and partnering with property management companies and realtors to quickly scale and grow. That's our pitch. Thank you so much, and we'd love to answer any of your questions.